city.
So was that? Yeah, we always talk about like Genghis Khan and how he was able to take over the world. Was the competitive advantage horseback weaponry?
They had a lot of things going for them. They had strategy, first of all. They had devious, wild strategies. Like they would set people up. Like they would send a small party out, and those people would go after a small party and chase them down. They would lead them into like a canyon filled with Mongols and just slaughter everybody and block the exit. And they would hold a siege. They would attack a city, and they would bring so much food and so many supplies. They could just camp outside the
wait
city
for them to starve
until everybody starved out. And then they would start killing people and lighting them on fire and putting them on catapults and launching them over the walls and light their own houses on fire with the dead bodies of people they killed.
That's motivational.
Bro.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers killed 10% of the population.
That's the crazy thing. Like, I don't know. I always wonder about these times. Like what was like the Roman Empire's advantage? And some people chalk it up to like roads. Or like, why was Genghis something?
A lot going on. There was the knowledge of the recurve bow. They were really good at the recurve bows. They had catapults, and they just had like Genghis Khan just had this unquenchable desire to take over the world.
Yeah,
it's really crazy that no one's scared of the Mongols now. But then when one of those dudes fights in the UFC, you're like, Jesus.
Wait, who's Mongolian in the UFC?
Let's see. Who do we have? The Mongolian murderer. That's one dude. But there's people from that Caucasus region of the world. Like there's a lot of people from Kazakhstan and Dagestan.
So all the stands are remnants
those guys
of the Mongolian
that look
Empire.
a little Asian.
Yeah. Rachmanov.
Yeah, Shavkat
Rachmanov. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Kind of
that
a beast.
motherfucker's so good.
Yeah.
But they're just so tough over there. It's just crazy that they took over the whole world at one point in time, and then it all went away. Like that's a lesson for America to learn. Because Americans have this idea that we are the centerpiece of the military of the world. This is it. This is the baddest fucking army that's ever existed, bro. No one's going to stop us. But the reality is, like, every single civilization that has been in control has gone under. They all go under.
Now, did those civilizations have nukes?
No. No. That's the problem.
That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, the problem is if we go out ugly. But unless China is clever and they slowly dismantle our power grid and slowly pollute our country with like bombing chemical factories and do it slow over a long period of time. Like if you were a real conspiracy theorist, like one of them Reddit tinfoil hat.
Let's go deep, my boy.
You would think that China would not do a big thing, but a constant series of small things that people get accustomed to. And crash power grids. Do it slow. Do it over decades. You got plenty of time. As long as you don't nuke United States first, they're not going to nuke you.
Right.
They're not going to. We already did that once. We're not going to do that. If anybody is going to be a first bomber, it's not going to be us. It's not going to be us.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a strategic problem.
Yeah.
Because we're all worried about Putin. We're like, what if Putin gets back to the corner? What if Ukraine starts winning? What if this? What if that? What if Putin really does have cancer? What if he decides to go out with a bang? Like, we're worried about that. No one's worried. What if Biden just nukes China? What if Biden's like, what's this TikTok? You don't want to talk? You don't want to talk? You don't want to tell us about the code? How about this? Boom! Never. Never. We would never think that the Biden administration would go and nuke someone.
Never. And they know that. And because they know that, they're comfortable.
Yeah, so that you could do sneaky things.
Yeah.
I would do sneaky things. If I was China,
Slowly
or if I was Russia, or if I was Iran, if I was some country that didn't like us, I would do sneaky things.
So is that the concern with TikTok?
Oh, yeah. There was some fascinating conversations today.
Because it looks like they're going to ban it.
For sure, they're not telling the truth. Like the way this CEO was talking to the senator today is like, oh my God. It's like They just want to say whatever they have to say to get out of there.
Wow,
like he doesn't answer the questions. He dances around, and the senator keeps trying to say, that's a yes or no question.
Right.
That's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Like these dudes have been sending data to China from day one.
Yeah.
And they're doing something with that data. They're accumulating. They're finding out how coordinated our kids.
What the dances are about. They're just trying to find out how coordinated.
Imagine.
Bro. Wow, every TikTok trend is just a little information about our youth.
Also, how easily like led they are. You could get them to that app.
Well, clout
All
is
you
the
have to do
currency.
It's clout, but it's they have so many things going for them. First of all, it's very easy to get a big following there. It's very easy to get shared.
Instantaneous, it
You
feels.
can blow up, so that gets people excited about it and they use it. And it's genuinely a really good portal for creativity. Like some people do some interesting shit on there.
It's amazing. I almost think it's our fault it's successful because we didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Like we need some responsibility here. Like why is another country coming up with the best form of social media? That's on us. We dominated social.
That's Adam Curry's theory.
What do you say?
Adam Curry doesn't believe it's any different in the way it gathers data than what the American
It's
social
just a
media
better
platforms.
distributor of that data.
He just thinks that, no, this is just China kicking our ass,
Yep.
and we want to stop them from doing that.
Yeah.
That we're not doing things that are that much different than what
Yeah.
they're doing. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's true.
Well, I don't know.
It's just Adam is very smart, though.
Yeah, no, I think that there's something to that. It's like you want to win the culture war, and we've done that so well, right? Like we had all these movies, these TV shows that like shared our culture around the world, and that culture was romantic. It's sexy. You go
my
watch
God.
fucking Top Gun, you go watch Maverick, and you're just like, oh my God, how amazing is it to be American?
How about when Rocky wins with American shorts on? Got American flag shorts on?
Best. Away game too. You know what I mean? Like over there running in the
Russians are
snow.
cheering
Like,
for 'em.
yeah. If we can change, you can change. We all change. 30 years later, same fucking problem.
Same fucking problem. Bro, I remember when that problem went away. I remember
really?
when the wall came down, we were so relaxed. It was amazing.
Wait,
because-
take me back to this. So there's
All
a
right, see,
time.
when I was in high school,
Yeah.
okay, in the 1980s, I was a freshman in 1981, and back then we were terrified of war with Russia. It was a terrifying fear of a nuclear war with the Soviet Union.
and break this down to me. So it's like, is it you're watching the news and is there like fear mongering? Do you believe it? Does it feel less
100%
propagandist?
100% there was fear mongering. Look, it's always been, if it bleeds, it leads in the news. You know, we talk about how bad the news is today, but the reality is, like 5 o'clock news, when you get home from work, it was always the worst shit that happened. Double homicide in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's always the worst shit to people, right? But the big one was always Russia. And you would see the Soviet Union, and, you know, you would see their leaders, and you would see their army, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
They were the last great communist empire,
Yeah.
you know, before China. Right,
Yeah.
before China really blew up militarily.
Yeah.
Back then, we weren't worried about China. Everybody was worried about the Soviet
And
Union.
you felt fear as a youth.
100%. I
And
talked to my wife,
justified
and she's
fear.
younger than me, and she felt the same thing. And some of my other friends, I asked them, they grew up in different parts of the country, and they were like, oh, yeah, everyone was scared of the fucking Russians, man. Like, there was all those movies like Red Dawn, where the Russians invade, we kick their fucking ass, send them back home.
Yeah.
You know, that was what everybody was afraid of. And then the wall fell. And so when the wall fell and the Soviet Union collapsed, we have to really 89, 90.
So then the 90s comes on, and then
What year was it, Jamie? 89.
Okay, so 90s.
So the 90s come along, and no one's worried about war anymore.
Yes. Is there a cultural apathy? Because
Well,
the
there's a lot of
90s.
bad things were made in the 90s. Some of the worst American cars that have ever existed were made during the 90s. We got real sloppy in the 90s. I look at, like, one of the things I look about with America, like how in tune America is what's their
the
cars
automobiles?
like? What's their cars like?
So Space Race produces some of the most beautiful cars ever.
Space race and psychedelic drugs.
So
There's
Space
a
Race is
direct
what?
correlation.
60s?
Yes.
So you have all the cars that are coming out.
50s too.
50s,
Because
60s.
63 was when Kennedy says we want to put the first man on the moon.
So they're using all that crazy space influence to make. And then, okay, so that goes away. And then psychedelics are 70s.
Well,
I'm trying to think-
psychedelics are 60s.
Oh, yes.
And then in 1970, they passed this sweeping Schedule 1 psychedelic Act that makes all those drugs Schedule 1 forbidden drugs. All the drugs that are non-toxic, like psilocybin, like things that your body makes, like dimethyltryptamine, all those things
That's
become
DMT.
Yeah, all those things become Schedule 1, and then automobile design drops off a fucking cliff.
That's funny.
I mean, drops off
That's
a cliff.
funny.
It's not totally. I mean, there's a correlation. It's maybe not totally the cause because it coincides with the.
Currently, Genghis Khan has this kind of a barbarian, evil, just rapist.
Well, they're just so good at it. They were so good at murder. They were so good at war. I mean, just so uniquely good at military strategy.
So it's about, he always kept the army to about 100,000. It's small. So it's 100,000 horses. Each soldier had 5 horses, so 4 spare horses with them. So imagine it's 500,000
which they
horses.
use their blood to fuel them.
Yeah, they would
use
consume
that
the
for
blood.
food.
So it's very portable.
Yeah.
They're not bringing
Right.
logistically the whole. I mean, this is just imagine this armada moving at like they can move like 50 miles a day. This entire army. And they don't have to follow the roads, which all the military would follow the roads. So you can go around, you can surround, and they did as you know, they can retreat, feign retreat, and then attack from the sides.
Yep.
It's the blitzkrieg. That's the
Genius stuff.
And a lot of people, including Dan Carlin, say it's the greatest military in history. They would defeat every single military, including Napoleon, with the muskets and everything.
Yeah.
They would destroy Napoleon. And then, of course, in the 20th century.
You know what they didn't defeat? Samurais.
Right. But they
Yeah.
never really fought.
They did.
They twice they fought, but it's not
and they
a
were
real
like,
battle.
These guys are fucking crazy. They thought they were crazy. These guys were like practicing their whole lives for one-on-one combat with swords.
As far as I know, they never really had a full-on battle. I wish they did.
There were some battles. There was battles on an island, one of the islands outside of Japan, but the Japanese successfully held off the Mongols.
So-
and they were like one of the only civilizations to ever pull that off.
I think one of the issues with Mongols, except Kublai Khan, is they were not good with water. They didn't know how to. The ship thing was not.
Oh. What a big mistake.
Well,
Imagine if they got as good with water as they were with horses. That would have been a real problem.
Well, a lot of things they had advantage on, like for example, they can ride on ice, and so
How'd they do that?
in Mongolia, these people like
Did
ride
they have
horse-
different horseshoes? Did
I
they even
don't-
shoe their horses back then?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No. It's all like they don't have like.
When did they start shoeing horses?
That's a good question. But
You
that
know?
doesn't feel like a Mongol thing. I mean, the
Right, it
people
doesn't.
can ride the
were
mounted
riding
archery.
bareback. Yeah.
You-
Oh, my
I'm sure
God.
you know about this.
The mountain archery is so insane. They had the ability to hang off the side of the horse, so they would shoot from under the horse's neck. So they were completely defended by the horse, and they were shooting arrows, and their bows were 160 pounds. So you had to be insane. They said that a lot of the skeletons they find from that era, their bones are deformed because your whole body has just been pulling 160 pounds with your right arm or your left arm, like your whole life. So your right side is like insanely muscled, and your bones are all twisted and thicker and denser tendons and everything because they've been doing that since they were children. They were
They
an
start out at like
insanely-
2 years old.
Yeah, insanely formidable army. Insanely formidable. But here's something to take into consideration when we're saying about like how Genghis Khan's genes were spread. But just right off the bat, it's all awful, all horrible. I wish no one ever got killed by anybody ever. It's all awful. All war is hell. All of it. All's hell. There was so much of it going on throughout human history that women there was a survival mechanism in accepting this conqueror as your new husband when he slaughtered your husband. This is the only way your genes passed on. So these women were able, I mean, even if they said they fell in love with him, even if they did marry him, even if they were happy to marry him, there was like almost an evolutionary requirement because we slaughtered each other so much that if you wanted your genes to pass on, you had to accept the slaughter of your former mate.
And then in modern day society, we will call that rape.
Right.
But it's you have to use different words for that time,
Right.
because there is rape where it's like violent rape as part of war, as part of a mechanism of terror.
I think even as just part of society up until like a few thousand years ago, or even a few hundred years ago. I think human beings, like I've had a bunch of friends who've served overseas, and the stories they tell from Afghanistan, especially with the child raping, is fucking bone curdling. Like you blood curdling. Just like you just want to leave the room when they're talking. You don't even want to hear this. You don't want to think that this is happening, and it's happening right now because it's an old culture. It's an old culture, and it's separate from the rest of the world. It's very remote, very difficult to access. You have warlords and herders who are living in these nomadic tribes to this day. Not much different than when Alexander the Great conquered it.
So I should say that Genghis Khan, from everything I understand, was not progressive, but he was very pragmatic. This is why he
Allowed all religions.
all religions,
Yes.
which is Thomas Jefferson, I should say, deeply admired Genghis Khan for this, the freedom of religion. And he
Yeah.
didn't just say freedom of religion, it's freedom of an individual to practice any religion they want, which is it's like individualism. It's a really revolutionary, badass idea for that time, for that place.
Well, he recognized strength and the value of accepting strength and taking, and there's strength in unity, there's strength in community. If people can worship whatever they want, but all be united under one banner, it's better than dividing everybody.
And the feminist thing that I mentioned, he would put women in power. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a feminist? No, he understood that women are able to men conquer better in his perspective, and women rule better because they keep a stable society.
Mm-hmm.
So he would marry a woman to the king of the place, and then send the king off to fight, the ruler to fight, knowing for sure he's going to die. But the woman is now ruling, and then there's a lot of like progressive things about, like, they were allowed to show their face, especially in the Persian lands where they conquered. Like, they're allowed to wear these fancy headdresses, and which is,
they can floss a little.
Yeah,
Chicks
exactly.
got excited about that.
Yeah, exactly.
New rules.
And the other thing, on this is the tricky thing is the Mongolian tribes where Genghis Khan came up. By the way, came up from nothing. Father slaughtered. I mean, this is from nothing. That was a common practice to steal wives, to steal women.
Yeah.
And
he had one of his wives stolen, and she came back pregnant.
That was like the origin story. The origin story of Genghis Khan, right, is like the love of his life, who was married to him for his whole life, that he proposed, or he said, we're gonna marry at 9 years old. She was kidnapped, and he had to raise an army in order to rescue her back. That was the sort of the split in the road. He would have been a normal Mongol, but here he has to raise an army to rescue her back.
Think about Genghis Khan. Think about what that guy did while he was alive, where he killed 10% of the population of Earth.
Right.
I mean, if that's not evil, like, what is? Like, what is it? I mean, they would light people on fire and use them as catapults to light houses on fire. So they'd put them in catapults and launch corpses, flaming corpses, and they would land on these thatched roofs and start the houses on fire.
Right. Wow.
They would take people and they would kidnap them, right? So they would sack a town and they'd take all the people, and everybody that gave in and surrendered, they would put them at the front of the line, and then they would start attacking the city, and all the people would just get crushed by the enemy. So by the time they just pushed them forward, so they would get thousands of people in front of them and push them into a city, and those people are just getting hacked apart because there's people that are trying to stop the siege, and those are the people that are getting killed, and so they're like human shields.
Fuck.
And then they're trampling over their dead bodies to destroy the entire city.
Right.
If that's not evil, like, what's evil? Like, to them, that was their destiny.
And that happens.
Genghis Khan's one of his quotes was crazy. It was, "You must have." I'm paraphrasing it. We could find it, I'm sure. "You must have done something horribly wrong for God to send me."
That was that letter to the Pope. Isn't that the letter he wrote to the Pope?
I don't know. I don't know who it wrote it to.
One of them wrote a real takedown.
See if you
letter.
can find that. But it's from like the. Do you know that what they know about the Mongols came from like one diary that they found in like the 1800s? Like there was so little known about Genghis Khan. They don't know where he was buried.
They still don't know.
They have no idea. They killed the people that took him there so that they couldn't tell, and then more people came and killed the people that killed the people,
Right.
so that they couldn't tell.
Right. I think
That's
didn't they kill
wild.
themselves after killing the people too? Like it was just like
Something nutty like that.
Just
It's like fucking wild.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
I saw.
But what is that quote that he had about God sending me? It's when you think about who that motherfucker was. I mean, he's the motherfucker of all motherfuckers. I mean,
Right.
the greatest warlord of all
Yeah.
time. He is the goat.
Yeah, man.
To the point where people don't even consider him evil, right? People don't think of Genghis Khan as evil. You think of Hitler as evil, right? But Genghis Khan's just this conqueror guy.
Right.
But meanwhile, he killed
So many
50
people.
million people.
So many people.
He changed the carbon footprint of Earth. When they look at the carbon footprint of Earth, during his time, cities re-greened. There's a noticeable amount.
Yeah.
Because cities were destroyed and the nature just absorbed them and trees grew in their place. I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Jesus.
I am the punishment of God. Imagine if that's how you justify just wholesale slaughter of everybody in a city
you
and
go.
stacking the bones up so high that the Shah of Khwarizma sent an envoy to go and talk to whoever was running Jin China, and along the way they thought they saw a snow-capped mountain. And as they got closer, they realized it was a stack of bones.
God damn it.
It was 1 million people. They killed 1 million people and stacked them in the middle of the city.
God, that must have taken forever.
Forever.
Whose job is that?
Bro, they killed everyone. On the road, they had to abandon their wagons because the wagons were stuck in the muck of decaying people. They couldn't pull the wagons anymore because all the roads had deteriorated into muck.
Yeah, you know what? When you look back at shit like that, we're doing pretty good right now.
We're doing pretty good.
We're
right
doing
now.
pretty good.
But that is.
That is horrifying, dude. That is.
If that's not evil, what's evil?
Well,
So
that is evil.
That's evil.
That is evil. And that what's interesting is people, I think, like around the world, regardless of the culture that you're raised in, we all have a similar sense of evil versus good. That's where it gets curious. It's like people, it seems like people have a sense of like, it isn't good, for example, to like fuck a dog corpse. I bet you could go all around the planet.
Most people say that's bad.
Most people are gonna
don't do that.
Don't fuck dog corpses. Like if you see a dead dog, don't fuck its ass.
And if you see that a guy's doing that, you go, that guy's a problem.
That guy's a problem.
We're gonna have to take that guy out.
Don't hire him.
Yeah.
And so there seems to be built into us a sense of like harmony and how to do it and what it looks like.
Right.
And then there's examples like you just described.
Yeah.
It's like that's one of the things we can also do.
Yeah.
Whew, that
Ooh.
would have been fun to be Genghis Khan though, right?
Could you imagine being in that posse and knowing what you're gonna do, and also just the fact that some insane percentage of people worldwide have his DNA because he had that many kids.
Just fucking. When he's not killing, he's just fucking.
That's all he lived for. He just lived to fuck and to kill.
How did he have time to plan war?
I mean, he was a brilliant strategist. That's what the crazy thing is. Like, they did a lot of sneaky shit. Like, they led people. They had, like, small packs that would lead people into the mountains, and then they would have a giant pack of people waiting for them, and they'd just fucking come down off the hills and engulf them. They did brilliant shit, man. They waited people out.
Is there a...
They drank the blood of their horses
I
to
knew
stay alive. They ate their horses. They ate each other. Apparently, there was some cannibalism that was reported.
Is there a movie... Like, why haven't they made like a Game of Thrones style series?
There was one pretty decent movie, but in order for the movie to be realistic, it would have to be so hardcore.
Right.
And it would be really problematic because it involves a lot of rape. There's a lot of rape and a lot of horrible,
Right.
horrible murders. And one of the things they did was they had some rule where, like, with kings and emperors, they weren't allowed to, like, chop them up. So they would kill them in different ways instead of, like, attacking them with swords or whatever they would
Roll
do
them in
normally.
carpets.
They would do that, or sometimes they would just stack their bodies and then build like a floor above them and eat on top of them until they crushed them to death. So they would build a platform over their bodies, just crush them with the weight of these timbers. These people would be moaning while they were eating.
Do you think that's real?
Yes. Yeah, that's documented.
Wow, man.
Yeah, the people that survived, that's one of the things he would also do, let some people survive to tell the stories.
Jeez.
Just run, tell everyone.
And of course, like, if you're at that dinner, you're not going to, like, complain about it. Like,
Nope.
you're not
You ain't
going to
gonna
say
say
shit.
You probably get off on it by now. You've probably been doing it for a decade. You've probably been killing people everywhere you go. They lived in felt tents and they were nomads. So they had no real home and they went wherever the fuck they went, and everywhere they went, they killed everybody.
Fuck. That is incredibly.
It's a crazy story. And the story of Genghis Khan, his name was Temujin. He started off as a young boy and he had a brother that was a cocksucker. And his brother was like stealing his fish and beating his ass. And one day he killed his brother. And his mother freaked out and said, "You motherfucker, you devil." And, you know, he started off young, was the point.
Yeah.
Started off young.
Yeah. Wasn't his family really poor?
Yeah. The whole story, it's crazy. His mother had to run because his father was killed, and his mother had to run. They barely survived. They were left out there to die.
But don't people he's sort of beloved.
Oh, yeah. That's what's crazy. There's statues of him in Mongolia. Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, historically, he was doing what everybody else was doing. He was just doing it better. They were all doing that. When the Shah
Right.
of Charisma sent the envoy
Charisma? I thought I misheard.
Charisma was a country.
Okay.
It was the Khwarezmian Shah. It doesn't exist anymore. What is it now? Is it like Syria or something? You know, a lot of those countries, they changed names. What was Khwarezma? With a Q? Khwarizm? Am I saying it wrong? I don't think it exists anymore. I'm sorry if it does. It might be one of them weird ones.
Shah of Charisma.
But anyway, this dude was seeing like whether or not they could sack Jin. You know, they were going to visit to see like let's take a look and see what their defenses are like, and we'll bring some fucking carpets and some nice stuff and give them a little gift, and then
Yeah.
come back and fuck them up. Like that was the standard move.
Right.
And when they were on their way, they're like, the Mongols already got there, and it was already too late. Wow. Yeah.
Holy fuck, man.
If they had ever gotten into Europe, it would have been over.
I thought they did get to Europe.
No, but I mean, if they went into Italy,
Oh, right.
like if they went into like Rome and the Vatican, it would have been over.
Didn't he conquer more landmass than any other human? Like, didn't at some point they...
I think it's something like that.